Oh, what a lad. Well, for a while now, I've been hoping to get one of our legendary Black Caps on the podcast, and today's guest is the perfect start. Firstly, he's one of the best all-round cricketers in all three formats of the game. He's averaging over 50 in both tests and one-dayers, which is an absolute incredible stat, and the best thing about it is that he's had a very unique pathway to get there. He's also known as the most professional athlete in any sport with a mindset that sets him apart, and of course, he is a massive, massive lad. It is the great New Zealander, Daryl Mitchell. Welcome, mate.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
Mate, when you said that you listened to the podcast, I was stoked. I was stoked that you tuned into a couple before, and stoked to have you on. I've been doing a little bit of research into your story a little bit deeper the last few days, and incredible story. Looking forward to tapping into especially your mindset and the way you approach the game.
No, yeah, firstly, the podcast, we spend a lot of time in hotels and all around the world, and yeah, definitely being a big fan of rugby as well. I quite enjoy hearing a lot of them sitting in my room, so it's good. Yeah,
well, mate, you would have had to have grown up with a lot of rugby, obviously, with your old man, the All Black coach, and having a hell of a rugby career. And when I looked at your old man's career, I'm guessing you've moved every time he's moved, and it's something that as a coach I've always been quite conscious of, so I'm really interested to tap into how those moves affected you and what that was like throughout your journey, and obviously the pressure that he was under and whether you felt any of that.
Yeah, I guess first and foremost, I was just a kid growing up in New Zealand that, Dad went off to work, and it just happened to be that he was a rugby coach.
Yeah.
And, probably looking back now, you realise that how lucky you were with the opportunities that you got to rub shoulders with guys that you looked up to in the All Blacks as a kid growing up. And, I guess now that I've got my own pathway in sport and I've got my own young family, I do recognise how lucky I was to get those opportunities.
Did you love it? Were you a code head growing up?
Yeah, I was a typical Kiwi boy.
Yeah.
I'd, rugby in the winter and cricket in the summer, and any school holidays I'd try and get down to the field and stand behind the posts and catch the ball when they're kicking, and probably... Yeah, looking back, I probably annoyed a lot of the players at times, but I was having an absolute ball, so I was loving it.
What position were you as a player?
I was a very slow first five.
Were you? Just a tactician.
Enjoyed kicking and enjoyed the contact, but very slow, so I got through the line and I was always getting caught.
And obviously before your dad was a coach, he would have been a player while you were born, or you?
Yeah, so I think, I was born in 91. I think Waikato won the Ramfley Shield in 1993, so I can't remember it. But, I've got photos of me as a kid sitting in my grandparents with the Ramfley Shield and things like that. And then we moved to England. I was around 95 so I was 4 or 5 years old. Did 4 or 5 years over there while he was playing, and then got into coaching after that.
How did you find, especially those moves earlier on, do you remember much of those moves, and how did it affect you?
Yeah, it's just that was normal for us. Me and my younger sister Kira, she's 3 years younger, and it's just what we did. We're pretty tight now, so I wonder if because of the every 4 or 5 years you move to a different city or country, that's probably a main reason to that. But it was pretty cool. Got to live in Manchester for 3 years, and became a big fan of Manchester United because of that, and then came back home for another 4 or 5 years with the All Blacks and the Chiefs and that. And then we got last 3 years of high school over in Perth. So, been around, seen different cultures, different ways of going about sport, I guess, as well. And I guess all those things rub off. Did
you play football over in the UK?
Yeah, not very well. We've got size 14 feet. So, trying to kick a soccer ball is not great. But, I just loved all sports. I loved getting stuck in and... summer, tennis, cricket, all of that. Tried golf, but it's just I love all sports.
Yeah, and cricket in the UK, is that where it sort of started for you? They love it over there.
Not so. It was probably more in the backyard. Until we came back to New Zealand when I was year 4 at school.
Would that be you and your sister?
Sister, dad, granddad,
just anyone.
Anyone. I just wanted to get so plenty of backyard battles, and I'm sure that's where the competitiveness probably first came in, as taking on the old man, and we used to play all sorts of games and test matches, and it'd get pretty heated, and one of us would end up sort of blowing up at each other and storming out. So that's probably where it all started.
What age is this?
This would be between 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all that sort of time. It was all on. Yeah,
that's good stuff. So the old man's obviously competitive.
Yeah, he's got that in him too. Yeah, definitely.
Because that's something that's come up quite a bit in looking at your stuff, is that the competitive side of you, and obviously earlier in your early days used to get stuck right into some people, and that competitive spirits, I guess, got you to where you are now.
Yeah, I guess. It's just something that's in me. I don't like losing. I'm not a massive fan of it, but I think at times it's also, when you're younger, it's a way of competing with the more talented older guys and trying to show them that, I'm here to get stuck in and try and win that contest. And it's proved well sometimes. Probably when you're a bit younger, it rubs a few people up the wrong way.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you learn how to balance it out, and times when you need to be like that, and times you can just go with the flow as well.
Yeah, and were you stoked to move back to New Zealand after the 5 years in the UK?
Yeah, so that was sort of was the last intermediate we moved back. No, a little bit before that, but did intermediate and then my first year of high school in New Zealand still.
Yeah. Quite a hard age to move, or did you not find it like that?
No, it was just that's
what it was.
Yeah, like we moved back and Dad was a Waikato B coach, so we did that and he got the Chiefs job the next year, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, true.
Watching that for a year. And
so did he move back for the B's job, or was he?
Yeah, so he was assistant coach of England, I think it was, under Clive Woodward.
Yeah.
And from my recollection of it was that they wanted to move back to allow me and my sister to do schooling in New Zealand and be back home. So you got I remember doing the Waikato Bees job, and then the Chiefs job came after that. But it was nice to be back home with all my family in Hamilton and my grandparents and stuff, and they'd come every weekend to watch the sport. So it was nice just to be back to being a New Zealand kid again.
Yeah, and what school did you go to?
Southall was the primary intermediate, and then St Paul's in Hamilton was for year 9 before I had to go over to Australia. Yeah,
and were you playing cricket, rugby, everything at this point?
Yeah, just trying to do everything I could, get stuck in.
And did you think it was potentially going to be a career at any point, or was it always just an ambitious dream for you?
I think it's a dream. You always, like it was, I guess you can see a pathway of people around you doing it for a living or because they love it, and you think, well, why can't I do that at the time? Yeah, whether it was rugby, cricket, whatever you wanted to do. It was having seen people doing that day to day, and Dad's job probably made me think it was actually probably a possibility more, and but also knowing that it's a hell of a long way away, and there's a lot to do between now and then.
Did the old man ever push you towards rugby, or did he ever try and help you become the professional athlete or a professional rugby player?
No, I think I was really lucky in that sense. Both Mum and Dad let me do what I wanted to do. Because I was such a lover of all sports, I think naturally they were probably both pretty happy that I wanted to go out in the backyard and kick the ball around or hit the ball, and they both were always really supportive of me. Obviously, growing up when Dad's the All Black coaches, you probably get a few things said that, it's just because you're the All Black coach's son and all that sort of stuff, which they were really good at protecting us as kids. So, I was, they just let me choose my own path, and, lucky, I guess, to be able to do what I do now. Yeah,
did you cop much heat from friends or schoolmates or whatever when your old man was the All Black coach? And, man, it's like, how much pressure are they under, like the All Black coaches?
That would be a horrible job, wouldn't it? Look, it's... No, I think it's when you're a teenage kid growing up. There's people that say that, and there's other things that allow it to be really cool. And I remember I was the same size shoes as Dad when I was 13, so I got all those Adidas kicks and all that sort of stuff. And they'd obviously go and get all their kit out. So I look back at it now just with really fond memories. Yeah. Obviously, it's tough when they lost that semi-final and he lost his job. And I remember that was a pretty tough time in the household. But at the same time, it's probably pretty cool that we've gone through that as a family, and it's allowed all of us to work out from those experiences and do what we do now.
Watching that final, did you know once that game had been lost that the job was sort of done, or how did you find out? How did he find out?
I don't really know. I can't really remember because I was about 12 or 13 at the time.
Yeah.
But I do remember him coming home after that semi, and how he had to, I think he had to reapply or something for the job or re-interview.
Yeah.
I mean, we went and watched a test match at Seddon Park in Hamilton, and that's when they announced that Graham Henry had got the job. And I remember it was all they put it over like the speaker
at the game.
I just remember, it's not the exact detail. I just remember sitting there. I remember Dad just being like, all right, come on, son, let's go home. So I
left the test match.
I can just remember that. We were like, didn't get to see Stephen Fleming score runs or something like that. But I remember that memory, and he obviously knew before that well, and but that was when it obviously got announced to the public, and we're like, right, let's
get
out
of there
home.
Before he copped flack, or
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
did you ever see much of that?
No, Kiwis are pretty good, I think, in general. Like they'll. obviously you see in social media and stuff now
Yeah,
than age before all that sort of stuff. So I'm sure in his own way he found ways to deal with it. But look, I was just a kid. He was my dad. He would go off to work, and I probably didn't see that side of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So then you headed off to Perth, and is this where cricket took over for you?
Yeah, I think cricket. Even in Hamilton, I played Northern Districts under 14s and 15s and things like that. But I was this height at 13, 14, so I could just bully the ball.
Tall first five.
First five. Yeah, that's why I was slow. That's why. But moved to Perth, and I was really lucky that the school that I went to there, cricket was quite a big thing, and they had some great facilities to be able to train and on grass for a long periods of the year. And then met some really important people in my life with cricket in terms of coaches and stuff, which I guess guided me in those early teen years of how you want to play the game and how you want to go about things on the field. And that's probably the starting of where it really kicked off.
Yeah, and how many years were you there?
Last 3 years of high school, and then I did 2 years of uni before I got the opportunity to come back home.
And studied sports science.
Did sports science.
The classic.
I don't know what I want to do, so we'll just say I
did that as
science.
well. Yeah. You want to pursue a sporting career, so what do you study until you're there?
Allows you to train the whole time while you say you're studying. Yeah.
But you actually finished it, didn't you?
Yeah, Mum made sure I finished it.
Yeah,
she was pretty adamant that you got to have something outside else and to fall back on. So looking back now, very lucky that I did because at the time I definitely didn't want to.
And you used it too. Hey,
I mean,
S&C of Waikato Rugby.
I was lucky enough to, I guess, do a couple of years while on domestic contracts to sort of intern and learn how the insides of the rugby S&C world, and I think it creates good balance having different interest outside of the game, and really lucky, I guess, to be able to do that in a sport that I do enjoy as well. Yeah.
So you're in Perth, you're studying, but you're playing cricket, and you're chasing this cricket dream at this point.
Yeah. So I guess finished school, played like 17s and 19s, but I wasn't anything special. I was there to fill in a role and do a job, and at the same time, still the dream of wanting to, I guess, play at the highest level and achieve those dreams, and always wanted to play for New Zealand. That was the goal, and played a couple of years of grade cricket in Western Australia, and really lucky that the club that I played at had some really good players. Justin Langer was his last year of playing when it was my first year out of school playing. So him, Marcus Stoinis, there's a number of Australian guys in that setup that I watched how they went about their business, and then got the opportunity to come back home to be able to chase this dream.
Was it intimidating playing with guys like that, or how did you feel?
It's probably the same as you when you first come out of school and you're playing with men that you've watched on TV or that you've grown up with, and I just think it's cool. It's why you play the game, is to play with the best and against the best, and it's pretty cool to have someone like that who's a mentor or whatever at that young age.
Yeah, and cricket, obviously, there's. For young guys, I'd imagine the sledging is, especially over there in Aussie. Like, did you cop much?
Oh Like it's funny because I think in the game now there's not as much sledging as there used to be. Probably when we first started, and it's good that the game has evolved in that way. But
why is it, you think?
I think it was the nature of that's just what the game is. It's you try and find little advantages to the game. It's so small and errors that can cost you a whole day. So if you try and you get them off for one ball, I guess that's why they do it. And definitely when I first started, it was a lot more prevalent than what it is now. But I think that's a good thing.
What was your process with sort of dealing with those? You didn't have one?
Not at that age. No, you just
bite back.
Okay, definitely bit back at times. But, you just learn.
The competitive nature.
Yeah, sometimes you think, I should keep my mouth
You would
shut.
have probably been a big sledger as well.
I'd
steaming in off the back fence.
Probably 115k an hour. Yeah, I did try, but it's probably for a lack of pace more than anything.
So you're always an all-rounder?
Yep. Yeah. I love been involved in the game, and
Yeah.
even now, even though probably I don't bowl as much as I used to when I first started, I still love bowling, and I just love being in the contest and being involved. It can be a long day sitting out there watching the clouds go by if you're not. So just want to get stuck in.
Yeah, and always all forms of the game.
Yeah, I guess growing up, our generation, Test cricket was the pinnacle. Watching, and obviously T20s slowly come in as we sort of grow up, and now all three formats are vitally important. So definitely growing up, it's just playing everything you can.
Mate, you just love it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So then you moved back to New Zealand, and you're straight into Northern Districts.
So I got an opportunity. It was like a Northern Districts under 23s tournament. New Zealand under 23s tournament.
Oh, yeah.
It was down here in Lincoln over Christmas, and pretty much they got in touch and come and play that tournament and see how we go. And was lucky enough to score a few runs that week and get an opportunity to get a contract for the next year with Northern Districts. So then pretty much as soon as I could, got on that plane and moved in with my grandparents and got my first contract with ND and first season of domestic cricket.
And how was it?
Yeah, it was awesome. I guess I didn't play a hell of a lot that first year. Probably played 2 first-class games, a handful of white ball stuff.
Yeah.
But just to be able to rub shoulders with like Dan Vittori, Marshall twins were there, Scott Styris, Graham Aldridge, a number of guys, and then obviously Kane, Timmy, Trent, all those who are a couple years older, to be part of that group and just to learn and watch how they do things. And I was a bit loud and obnoxious to start, but I slowly learnt that I'll just sit there and listen and do as I'm told.
So when you're not playing, you're just training throughout the week. What other sort of roles do you have?
Yeah, so at that stage, not playing much, you're pretty much servicing the playing 11 or 12. And then there was a couple of us who weren't playing. We'd just try and do all our training at the end or afterwards, or a couple of good mates. And Mitch Satner and Anurag Verma probably weren't playing much either, so we pretty much just trained with each other during the weeks. And there's a lot of A cricket as well underneath that you're, I guess, learning your game and playing and slowly trying to push your way to get into that first class team.
Yeah, and what would a normal training week look like for a domestic cricket team?
Yeah, it can vary depending on the formats.
Yeah.
So obviously 4-day cricket takes up majority of the week. So you would have your travel day, and then you have either 2-day out, 1-day out training, which is, for me, 2 days out is always your bigger training. So you're trying to get your volume in, and both with bat and ball, and then your day before is just working out, right, how are they going to attack me? What are they going to do with the ball, and what's my plans to process that? And I don't do a lot the day before. It might be a 15-10 minute hit, but as long as I'm really sharp with my movements and that side of things, then you're good to go the next day. Where T20 cricket's almost total opposite. You're playing 3-4 times a week, travel, train, play. So you pretty much just, it's like a NBA basketball, how they just keep going. So you just get used to just preparing and playing.
Anything game day or like?
Some guys do primers and things like that. Sometimes we'll have scouting meetings if the games are really close. We'll analyse the team on the morning of the games, but a lot of it's down to your own individual preparation, especially with a night game. It's trying to find ways so you're peaking towards that 7 p.m. time as opposed to playing the game at breakfast, lunch and dinner.
So I suppose, because it's quite an individual sport, especially when you're batting, like how much of it is individual for your training week? Like if you want to do something, is it basically up to you, or is it there's sort of a team protocol?
There's definitely team protocol. Like there's obviously a plan in place. Usually when you're on tour, especially in the international stuff, you usually get 2 days training before. So you have a travel day, 2 days, play, travel day, 2 days. Usually, so that 2 day out is your big training, and that'll be pretty structured with fielding and the net sessions are planned out by the coaching staff, whether it's scenario based or or technical stuff you want to do on top afterwards. But then the day before is pretty much your time to. It's like your rugby captain's run. You can do what you want. Some guys will do a lot of stuff, and other guys will be short and sharp. For me, I know that the day before is more short and sharp, and I want that intensity to it. So that I'm not playing the game too early. I'm just ready to go.
Does that change if you're not hitting it well, or?
No, usually 2 day out is you can do some searching and find out why you keep falling over a straight one. But
too late the next day.
But the day before, for me, it's all about that mindset piece as opposed to looking at technical stuff.
So when did the mindset piece come in? Obviously, it's such a mental game. cricket. Like, when did you realise, or when did you really start to focus on that mindset?
I think it constantly evolves. I think early on in my career, you're probably young and naive, and you don't realise what the game entails. And you have some good years, some bad years, and usually you have a good year, and then a team works you out, and then you got a couple 18 months where you got to work out why am I keep getting out this way.
Yeah.
And so for me, my challenge was being tall. Used to, in your green conditions, get out LB a lot. Which for guys who don't know is hitting the on the shin. And then spin was a big thing that I had to work on when I was really young, having not really faced quality spin on turning surfaces.
The old man couldn't turn it.
Oh yeah, it's a bit green in the backyard. Didn't look like Mumbai. So it was just finding ways to work your game out from that. And I guess you search initially technically, right? Why am I getting out this? Why am I not having success? But then it's actually bringing it back and simplifying it, and that's probably when the more mental aspect became into it. Is it's not always technical, the answer. It's how you're adapting to different situations and different pressures that the game can bring. Yeah,
so going into a game, would you have certain shots that you're planning to play against certain bowlers, or is it just clear mind, see the ball? Like, no, how does it work?
I'm pretty... I'm quite detailed, I guess, in how I prepare for what bowlers are going to do to me.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of footage leading up. The more you play guys, the less you have to do it, because you played them lots. But I guess you look at what are their threats, what will they probably try and do to you out there, and then you've also got to take into the conditions, whether you're playing them at Hagley on a green one here or in Sri Lanka on one that's going to turn. So you trying to work out, come in with some ideas of what the game might bring, good and bad. So how can you put pressure on them, and also what's going to make it seriously tough, and what are you got to combat? And then it's effectively allowing you, so when you walk out in the middle, you're as clear as anything. You're not taking any baggage of thoughts, or you've done the preparation, and then you're good to go, and then you can react and trust your skills that you've done the work, so that hopefully you get the outcome you want.
How hard is that when especially if you're coming off a run of, average scores, or even while you're out there, you're just playing and missing everything. How hard is it to stay in that mindset?
That's a big challenge of batting, and if I look at the world's best players, the likes of Kane, Kohli, Joe Root, all of those guys, I think their ability to be present and not take the baggage from the ball before, I think that's what makes them the step above all the rest of us. Is that they, whatever happened that ball before, they can literally scratch the mark, go back and start again, and they're not, they're as present as can be. That's why I think Kane is the best in the world at what he does, because there's no one else like that. Yeah,
but you're not far off. Like, you've worked hard on it. I spoke to John Quinn, the Crusaders mental skills guy here, and he could not speak highly enough of you. Like, he said, if every player or athlete had your sort of mindset, he wouldn't have a job. Like, he was blown away with how professional and how much, I guess, pride you put into your mental skills side of the game.
Yeah, look, Quinny's a legend first and foremost. When I moved down here to Christchurch 4 or 5 years ago now, spent a lot of time working with him, and I think you can see why the Crusaders and Canterbury Rugby and the likes of Tom Walsh and Tom Latham and all those guys have had a lot of success from working with Quinny. But I just like how simple he keeps things at times, and he can spin it sometimes back into rugby, which I quite enjoy as well.
So when you are out there, you've played and missed 5 in a row, your mindset?
It's probably both. You don't want to show the bowler that he's on top of you, so for me I'll puff my chest out and I might smile or whatever and try and show that it's not phasing me. Probably deep down you're like, shit, I need to score some runs here. But it's just trying to simplify it. Like, for me, I'll walk away, I'll breathe, try and calm my heart rate down, and then make sure that when I walk back to the crease to be ready to go, that I'm as present. And for me, it's watching the ball. I reckon most of the time when I get out is when I'm not tracking the ball properly. So it's trying to make sure I emphasise back on that again, and just trying to be as present as I can.
What's the keys to tracking the ball?
That's a good question. If I knew it, it sounds stupid, but I feel like when I don't do it well, the last 2-3 meters, I probably don't track it I don't watch it properly, and it's not saying you're like watching it. But it's a feeling that where when you're in that zone or that bubble, it just happens without you really thinking
True,
about it. So
yeah.
it's how do you replicate that ball after ball after ball and be ruthless with that. That's the challenge, especially in the longer format of red ball batting when you're trying to do that for 2 hours on end.
And I guess when you're facing someone, 150 plus, like how you actually, I'm surprised you can even see it once it leaves the hand.
It's just practice though, isn't it? It's the same with you rugby boys when someone's flying at you 100k an hour and you put your head and your shoulder in front of it. I don't know if I want to be doing that. So, it's just practice and, if you do it enough times, it's what becomes normal.
Yeah, it was so cool. And I guess from your ND, like you were playing, 7 years before you sort of made your international debut, so it was a long time. Did you ever sort of doubt that you'd be able to get there, or what was your feeling throughout that period?
No, definitely. Like the ND, I look back now at not playing international cricket for a long period of time as a blessing. It meant that I could learn my game. I could go through I had some good years and some really bad years, and you can really work out, right, actually, why do I play the game? Who do I want to be as a player? How do I want to go about my business on the field and off? And there's no coincidence that once I started having kids as well, that cricket started to go better. And I think it just balanced me out a little bit. Probably didn't try as hard once I had kids. And there's those 7-8 years, whether it be with ND, I look back on with really fond memories, and I've got some great mates there. But it was a great opportunity to learn, to then be able to bring it down here to Canterbury to do what I do now.
Yeah, that's interesting, because obviously I know you look back at it and you're grateful that you didn't play it, but I bet at the time you were frustrated, and like every young kid's in a sort of race to get to the top, but you look back and you're just happy that you've gone through that gradual journey. Yeah,
definitely. During it, you want to be in a rush, and you want to do what you want to do now, and there's times where you think that New Zealand dream's probably done, and there's a number of people ahead of you that deserve the spot ahead of me, and I completely agree that. But I was also very lucky to learn off a number of black caps in that environment over time and see how they go about their business. BJ Watling was massive in terms of watching how he trained for that whole period of time, and I guess it helped sort of grow me as not only as a cricketer but as a person through that period.
Yeah. So what was the move down to Christchurch?
So my wife Amy's from Christchurch, so after several attempts to make me come down here, but no, obviously cricket as well was massive. With ND, there was a number of black caps in that environment, and the roles that I played were probably limited at times when everyone was there, and to get the opportunity to come down to Canterbury to a young group at the time, and with Peter Fulton taking over as head coach, it sort of just felt like the right time to be able to come down, bat for, and bowl as well, and then with the family aspect of Amy being home more with our second one on the way at that stage, it just sort of it made sense to that time of my career to be like, right, let's have a crack, let's give this a go and see where it takes us.
And how quickly was it from when you came down to Rat Cap straight away?
I'd played a couple games while I was with ND, a couple of T20s and one test match, but I guess that first summer with Canterbury got me more opportunities with New Zealand, and it sort of just flowed on from there.
And you must have felt ready by this point, like, what were you, 27?
Yeah, I think I don't know if you ever feel ready. I think, you doubt yourself when you get that opportunity, and but at the same time, I was so excited to get that opportunity that it was like, this is a free hit. I'm so lucky to get this now at this age of my career that I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to enjoy it because I don't know how long it's going to last, and it's probably something I keep trying to take forward even now, 5-6 years later, of playing international cricket is like, this is pretty cool. It doesn't last forever, so let's just make the most of it.
And I guess the beauty of being an all-rounder is you get sort of 2 cracks to perform each game, not like opening batter where if you've gone early.
An opening batter, that's a tough gig.
Gone early in a test match, you've got a long few days.
It just suits my personality of wanting to be involved and wanting to compete. That's why I guess I do what I do, and I do feel sorry for those opening batters when they stand in the field for 200 overs and then get up first over. You're like, oh, poor bugger.
So when you did make it, you instantly started scoring runs, and was there a point where you felt comfortable in the side?
I couldn't tell you a point. Obviously, when you do have some success, it makes it feel a little bit easier that you're like, yeah, I kind of belong in the part of this group, and especially I found the Test side was the coolest one to be a part of, because that group had a lot of success over that period when a few of us got our chance. So to be a part of a team that was number one in the world for a while with rankings, and then obviously World Test Championship squad and things like that was pretty special to be a part of. And now it's about us as a group keep evolving and keep trying to push that forward.
Yeah, and obviously the English series over there for you must have been one where it really stands out for you. What was it, 300s in a row?
Yeah, you look back now and pretty grateful for that to have happened.
Yeah.
At the time, you're just doing your job and you're just trying to repeat it over and over again. And I'd had my first experience at the IPL the 2 months leading up to that Test series, and to leave. Rajasthan made the final, but they let me leave a week early for the final to go and prepare for the Test match, which at the time was like that's a big call for me to try and do that. But it kind of, I guess, paid it off, knowing that you went and scored 300s in the next 3 tests. So got lucky.
How hard is it to juggle between them, jump between 2020 to Test footy? I was going to say cricket.
It's probably it is challenging. Like it's like T20 so fast, and it's a lot of it's on instinct and gut that you're trying to make decisions so quickly, and Test cricket's obviously the opposite, playing the long game, but also trying to find opportunities to put pressure back on the bowling attack. So it's the preparation is different again, and the game's constantly changing more and more. So you look at the scores in the IPL this year, teams are making 250, 280.
Crazy, eh?
But I think that's going to help Test cricket, because guys are going to be more aggressive in Test cricket, and I think it's just a flow-on effect.
Yeah, you must come from T20 to that Test match and looking at all the gaps in the field, being like, far out, this is...
Oh, there's definitely times you think, shall I just slog one here? But no, you think of the heat that you'll cop if you get out doing it. So, each format's amazing in its own. Test cricket's obviously the ultimate challenge. It's the hardest to do it over 5 days, but T20 and one-day cricket's got their own challenges as well, and T20 cricket's seriously fast at times, so they're all good fun.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about your IPL experience, obviously. The first year, from all accounts, you were up for auction, but you didn't get picked up. What was that feeling like, or what's that process like?
So, obviously, the IPL is a strange beast in terms of how they pick players up. So it's like you're a house and you're being auctioned off, and so all of us cricketers all around the world put our names in, and
anyone can put into any international cricketer.
I think I think that's how it works. You put your name in, then they pick a 1 to 300 or whoever they want to put up to the list. And so I remember the first year that I got into the shorter list, that your name pops up. Sat there, watched it, name popped up. No one bid it. I was like, okay, sweet, okay. So I went to sleep, and you're like, oh well, that didn't happen. And then woke up in the morning, and Rajasthan had put another bid on me later, so it obviously came back around.
Oh really? Okay.
So I was one of the last ones to get, which is awesome. At that stage of my career, to get even just to experience the IPL, and I played 2 games, didn't do a lot, but just to be part of that environment was cool to I guess learn. But it's a strange existence when you're sitting there waiting for someone to put a paddle up for you. And you're like, come on, someone please. It's very cool, and it's what makes the IPL so unique and so amazing to watch.
Yeah, but then obviously, was it the following year?
Following year didn't at all go.
Didn't go,
and then
didn't put your name forward.
No, we put it in there, but nothing.
Didn't
happened.
Make the 300.
Didn't. I made the 300, but didn't get the. No one bidded for me. So, which is all good. Like it's the nature of the cycle of the IPL.
Were you expecting to be picked up, or how do you go into those?
At that stage, you don't expect ever to be picked up, because it's such a hard tournament. It's like a Super Rugby team putting 5 teams, putting all these players on a table and going one by one, choosing. Like there's so many different dynamics, and now that you've been a part of the IPL and seen how they pick squads and how they do it, you understand actually how hard it is for them to try and put a squad together in 2 nights by bidding on them. So you can see how at times you might miss out, or some guys go for other prices that you don't think so. So it's quite, if you get the chance to sit there and watch it one night, it's interesting.
It is fascinating. And we obviously made up for it, the more recent one, where you must have just watched that and been like, What's going on here?
Nah, it's pretty crazy. Eh?
Yeah.
Me and my wife were sitting at home, and when you watch, the bids keep coming, and it's obviously it's for us as New Zealanders, it's life changing.
Yeah.
It's pretty special to be a part of, but also to go to CSK where a number of New Zealand players played for, and the likes of Mitch and Dev Conway, but then to be able to be with Flem and Mike Hussey and guys like that was a pretty cool experience.
So are they part of the bidding process? Like, is Stephen Fleming part of the...
Yeah, so he's the coach, so he's sitting on the table along with the owners and the management, and they're sitting there, different teams putting their hands up. So it's, it was a crazy watch. It was... the heart rate was definitely going. I'll tell you that much.
What point? As soon as you
pretty
bid?
early, yeah. I think I went and sat in the other room until a bid happened. So I knew I was actually going.
You're in.
So I was like, sweet, we're going. And then then sat there.
What did it finish on? Like 2.7 million?
Something like, I wish we got all of that, but
So who gets that? Like, how's that sort of
there's obviously that's the amount that you've gone for, and then you have tax and all other fees that go along with the wage. But look, it's an incredible amount of money, and very lucky to get that.
And is that just for that short set? Like, how long's the IPL?
2 and a bit months is the IPL,
and that money's for that amount of time.
Effectively, that's your salary. It's
so cool. Eh?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and something that you don't think's ever going to really happen, until it does, and then I think even afterwards you kind of pinch yourself that that you get those sort of opportunities in a sport that you grew up as a kid just wanting to play, let alone for it to do as a job as well. Yeah,
man, that's so cool. And then when you're over there, obviously the Indians absolutely love it. Are you feeling the pressure of performing over there, especially, I guess, with everyone knowing how much you went for? Does that all come into play?
Yeah, I think that was actually a really cool experience to have done that. I think us as Black Caps probably don't experience that sort of outside noise or pressure on a day-to-day basis. So, like, even talking with Quinny and that now, and in terms of the mental skills stuff, that to have gone through this IPL experience, and I probably didn't have as good a start as I wanted to in the tournament, and I put that down to trying a little bit too hard, because of the expectation and the number that's on your head, and as soon as I guess simplified it and said, right, this is my role, this is what they need me to do in this job, then I could actually just go out and get stuck in, and I wanted to bring out that competitiveness. That was one thing I said to myself. I was like, right, come on, we've got to get stuck into the battle here, whoever it might be, do the job, and then I guess I started to get some rhythm, and towards the back end of the tournament did all right. So it's definitely a different challenge when you have those expectations put upon you, but having been through that now, I'm really grateful for, because I know if other things come up in the future, how to go about that.
And what's the atmosphere like over there?
Our home ground, oh my Lord, it is so loud. I can't describe to you. It is, the whistles, like, it's just
constant, or just
constant.
On a
and then
boundary?
when MS Dhoni walks out, I've never heard anything like it. Like my kids, so my family was over for about 5 weeks of the tournament.
Oh, that's cool.
And like you could hit, like they had whistles in the bedroom after the game, and I can still hear the whistles in my ears while I'm trying to sleep. It's an amazing any Kiwi who can get over to watch
it's on my bucket
an
list,
IPL game, let alone watch a game in Chennai, it's pretty special.
Where are you living when you're over there? Do they pick you up, or?
Yeah, so we're in a hotel, which beautiful hotels. They look after us really well, and especially in Chennai, the hotel, the Leela there, you become some pretty good friends with they go to the same place for breakfast every day and stuff. But it's obviously a totally different culture for us as Kiwis, and it's really cool to be a part of. Yeah,
and MS Dhoni, you mentioned him. Like, what is he like?
He's pretty chilled. He's obviously a legend of the game, and he's played for as long as he has, because he's, first of all, a seriously good cricketer, and for me, just to watch how he goes about his business, and again, it was a great example of all that outside noise, all the pressures that man that has on him, being the face of a franchise of a country, and how relaxed he is, and how at peace he is with how he goes about doing his thing. That was something that I really enjoyed watching how he did it.
What's it like when he's out and walking the streets? Is it just
he ain't walking the streets?
He can't really.
To be fair, it's the same for a lot of during the IPLs, you can't really leave.
Is that you as well?
Well, you just can't. There's just so many people that love cricket that you just can't leave the hotels at times.
Because of just too many photos.
It just is, like if you go to a cafe, you sit there and suddenly there'll be 10, 20 people out there who know that cricketers are at the hotel. But not just me, but so that's the challenge of touring the subcontinent at times, is that it's not like New Zealand where you can walk down the road and go get a coffee and no one even knows who we are. It's brilliant. But that's what a lot of the Indian boys say as well, is they love touring New Zealand because of that, because they can go out for dinner and no one will even know who they are. So it's the cool thing about touring those countries, is that we as Kiwis we don't experience that normally, and it's a cool place to go.
So much passion, So much passion in the cricket. They love it.
It's similar to probably New Zealanders with rugby or English with football. Like it's a religion in many ways. And if the All Blacks lose, usually the stock market drops in New Zealand the day after, doesn't it? So I'm sure it's probably similar over there.
Yeah, far out. And I guess the other part of all that is social media. The Indian fans, I'd imagine they could be quite aggressive as well because they're so passionate. If you do get a low score, did you have much? Yeah,
I've got social media and use my Instagram and things like that, but I'm not a big reader of it. I don't read a lot of the comments, mainly due to that. I more just use it for a way of showing my life with cricket, and then as a dad, that's my two ways of using social media. And but I know a lot of other guys will sit there and read them and use them as fuel to do what they do. So everyone's different, but for me, I'm not a big reader of it, I guess.
Yeah. Did you feel like you went well enough over there that next year you'll be watching that auction relatively confident or excited?
Look, there's a lot of cricket to go between now and then as well. True. Like we've obviously got 9 Test matches with New Zealand over the next sort of 3-4 months, and then a home summer as well. So put your name in the hat and hopefully get another opportunity, having gone through a couple of experiences and some good and bad innings, and know how I want to go about playing in the IPL over there now. But at the same time, you can't control it, so why worry about it?
Yeah, mate, it's such a cool mindset. So you mentioned what's coming up, and you've got Test matches all through New Zealand.
What do we got? So we go subcontinent in start of September. We play Afghanistan, Sri Lanka and India in some Test matches over there. Yeah. And then we come home, and England have got 3 tests at home early. I think it must be sort of early December. So
true.
Even that little stint there is quite cool for us to have a big. I think it's 9 tests in a row. Yeah. Which is something that really looking forward to. So it's about preparing for that now over the next sort of 7-8 weeks and being ready to go.
I guess that's another part of life as a cricketer, is how much time you do spend overseas, and I guess it's a juggle for your wife and with the kids, and how much time you have to be on the road. But have you felt that, and how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge of the schedules of international cricket. Like you spend 10 months away from home usually, and even during a home summer you might have 2-3 games in Christchurch over that summer, so you don't get a lot of time at home. But for me, being a guy who debuted later in my career, probably I'm a bit more grateful for how hard it was to get here. So I just love it. I just want to, when there's moments where you're like, I come away from home again, it's like, well, actually, no, this is what I dreamed of. This took a while to get here, so let's keep making sure we enjoy it. It doesn't last forever, so you make the most of it while you can.
Your wife's obviously does all the hard work at home.
Yeah, she's the boss. Yeah, yep, correct. Look, they get to travel. We try and travel as much as we can. Yeah. At times, obviously, they came to India for the IPL. Last winter, before Addie, our oldest, started school, they did a big England stint where I played some county cricket and things like that as well. So we try and get them around the world, and it's cool for them, the 2 young girls, 5 and 3, to experience different cultures and different parts of the world that we never thought we'd be able to take them to. Yeah,
that's cool that you've got your base here, and then you can just go on these little stints, and they always sort of coming back to their home. Yeah, I guess a little bit different to you when you were young. You were moving, trying to create new friends and new.
Yeah, and that's probably, like you said, from learning from my upbringing and how the rugby and Dad being a coach, how challenging that was. Is like, well, what can I do as a dad now that I remember when I was a kid, what we used to do. So what can I do that was really fun? Like taking them to times when they come into the changing room afterwards and sitting there, and I know they don't care what Trent Bolt's saying, but they're laughing at him, telling him he's funny or something. But like it's cool for them to experience that, but then also knowing that they need a base and they need a home where they can go to school and do those things.
Yeah, so cool. So what are your plans going forward? Yeah. How old are you now, 33?
33 now, yeah. So, look,
you can play cricket forever though, can't you? Really?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, if the body holds on. Yeah, look, I love playing for New Zealand, and I hopefully can do that for a long time to come. And also with there's a number of other franchise tournaments that are popping up around the world, which is the changing landscape of cricket at the moment, that a lot of guys are working out how you balance both in many ways. But for me, I love playing for my country, and it means a hell of a lot to me, and hopefully I can do that for a long time to come.
Yeah, how is your body? You mentioned your body there, like...
Yeah, it's a bit sore. Yeah, that's why I'm home at the moment. I was meant to be in America playing in the MLC for Texas, which is a 4-week American T20 tournament.
Oh, shit. Oh, sure.
But, yeah, the foot, and I've had a niggly foot for about 9 months now, and just picked up a little bit of a sore knee in the World Cup. So it's about making sure I prioritise being ready for the test matches in a few months' time. And so it's nice now to get an 8-week block to fix all these things and be ready to go.
I was going to say, you wouldn't get an 8-week block very often, would you?
Nah, not with cricket these days. It's pretty much 12 months of the year, and so it's a blessing again in many ways to get some time at home. Although it's pretty cold here, and it's taken a while to get used to. But look, it's really nice to be at home.
Yeah, and you mentioned the World Cup just then. We hadn't really even touched on that, but what an incredible World Cup that would have been to be a part of. Couple of big hundreds against India. The Indians, the locals would have loved you. How'd you find that World Cup personally?
Yeah, look, I guess first I watched that 2019 World Cup, which we drew or lost, however you want to look at it. But I was watching it on the sofa at home, and then for me to be able to be part of an ODI World Cup was really cool. And to do it in India, again, a place that loves cricket, is it was pretty special to be a part of. And although we didn't win it when we lost to India in that semi-final, I think to be able to go around India and play in different conditions, take on the best in the world, is something that I always look back on with really fond memories.
How did the rest of the team look back at that 2019 World Cup one?
It's not really spoken of, eh?
Is it not? I mean, banned.
It's sort of, I don't know. Like, I wasn't part of it, so I can't really comment on. Like, it's each person reacts to it so differently, but I think the boys are over it by now. Hopefully, anyway.
What were you like watching it? You were like,
I was probably the same as you, sitting there like, what's going on here? But okay, it'll go down as one of the greatest games ever. I think whether you win, lose, or draw is pretty special.
It's always been a cool part of the Black Caps is how they've held themselves when they've won, lost, just as sportsmen, and the way they've sort of carried the country as being really respectful athletes and a side. So is that a big part of it, or where does that sort of come from?
Yeah, look, again, it's before, I guess, when I think it was more when Baz and that took over, and they decided that, the way that we want to play cricket is true to us as Kiwis and us as a group, and understand that this game's seriously hard, and yes, you can ride the wave, but also you can, enjoy this experience that we get as representing our country forever, how long it might be. We'll try and win every game of cricket. Don't get me wrong, we're going out there trying to get stuck in, but also understanding that we can't control everything in this game. So as long as we stay true to who we are as Kiwis, and make sure we get around each other as well. We're travelling the world. We're spending, again, 10 months away from each other, so let's make this the coolest time of our lives, and make sure that we can represent New Zealand on the world stage, and hopefully Kiwis sitting back home go, that's our team. They might not be the most talented guys in the world, but they're getting stuck in with a fern on their chest, and that's something that I think we're really proud of. Yeah,
that's cool. I think Quinny sent me a quote. For us, we've always said as Black Caps, we're not defined by outcomes, we're defined by how we play cricket, and hopefully that inspires the country to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, I copped a little bit of heat about that, because at times, like, I think it's probably interpreted that we don't try and win, but like I'm as competitive as anyone can be, and trust me, we're going out there to try and win games of cricket, but also that if I go out there trying to worry about scoring 100 or a 50 or winning every time, the burden and the pressure that you put on yourself, you can't sustain. I think I read a quote, Roger Federer won 54% of his points over his whole career, and he's the greatest of all time. Like, we go out there with all intentions to win, but you got to control the things that you do control. And for me, that's my presence at the crease, that's my intensity. And hopefully kids sitting at home like I was when I was 10, 13 years old watching Stephen Fleming and Nathan Astle and all these guys, hopefully we're doing that for the next generation of cricketers coming through, that they're like, yeah, I want to be a black cap. I want to go and take on the world's best all around the world. And I think for me, that's why we do what we do as black caps.
Yeah, I love it. You've just taken the full pressure off the result and just worried about what you can control. It just makes total sense. But interesting that you copped a lot of flack for it.
Yeah, that's the nature of it, I guess. Is
why doesn't he want to win?
I'm trying to win, trust me. I want to get stuck in. I hate losing. So yeah, look, it's again, that's the challenges of international sport and the pressures that come across. You know, be careful at times how you word things, but English was never my strongest suit at school, so maybe that was my fault.
You've explained it well. It makes total sense to me. But that's an interesting point around, I guess, individual scores compared to the team, and like when you're playing really well, getting big scores, but the team's losing, compared to when the team's winning and you're not contributing to the score. Like, how's that sort of balance?
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about our group, especially the Black Caps, is that it's all about team first. It's like, how do I win the moment, whatever that might be, to do the job for our team, and that will allow you to have success individually in the long run. If you're winning moments, if you're getting through tough spells, then you're probably going to be taking fifers and scoring hundreds as well, aren't you? So I think that's the way that, I guess, firstly Baz and then Kane and with a number of other leaders and Timmy and that have instilled in the group, is that we just do our job. It's probably similar to what you've experienced in rugby. You do your job and you do that well, then your individual stuff will look after itself.
Yeah, see, I would have saw cricket as a little bit more individual, but it's not. It's that full team game. And
I mean, again, otherwise it's too hard. The game's so hard that if you're worrying about what you're averaging or what your numbers are, it's a fickle game. It'll find a way to come bite you back in the butt. So it's just doing what you need to do now in the present, and that stuff looks after itself.
Does that stuff come into selection or things like that? How does that all work?
Yeah, you got to ask the guys above me for that. But I'd like to hope that we're pretty consistent with the groups that we do pick, and that's because we understand how the game ebbs and flows. But you've earned the right to be a part of that squad because of what you've done and what you bring, and so over a period of time you're trusted that you'll keep delivering because you've been backed by the group. And I think that's really important in terms of, and not just cricket but in professional sport. If you've got clarity with your role and you're safe, that you know that if you're doing what the team needs you, then you're going to get a pat on the back as opposed to a kick up the arse. Yeah,
I hear it on this all the time around guys who feel like they're not in or they're playing for their spot, and how that just sort of capitulates their form, and they've put too much pressure on themselves to perform for that one game because they know that was their sort of only opportunity, whereas what you're talking about is you're in, now make the most of it.
Well, you're trusted for a reason, aren't you? That's why you got your chance in the first place.
That's probably the key word there, right?
If you've got that trust there, that's why you're in the team, then go for it and do what is your skill set to help us try and win games of cricket.
Yeah. Oh, mate, you're an absolute wizard.
I wouldn't say that. I think this room's one more than I have, looking at all these trophies and jumpers on the wall. So,
So after cricket, what's the plans like?
Oh, look, obviously did that sports science degree and probably...
Back to rugby training.
If you said I'd be doing this 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you. So in another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however long I'll go for, who knows. But look, I love sport. It's something it's what I've done since I was a little kid. So I'm sure I'll be involved in some way, shape or form. But there's a few fingers and a few pies trying to come up with a few plans, but it's still a fair while away.
Would you get into the mental skills side of the game?
No, I don't want to take Quinny's spot. Todd Astle's trying to get in there now too. So, I don't know. I can't see myself being a coach after watching what Dad's been through. But definitely
scarred,
some form of high performance. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, mate, lots of good stuff ahead of you before.
I don't want to scare you though. So you're a young coach and you're on your journey. Is that word? I don't want to scare you with that.
Okay. Well, we have gone to our Instagram for some questions, and obviously plenty of good ones came in from you. For you, we'll see what we got here, but a lot of them are obviously around. A lot of them are rugby fans. So the Christian Cullen, dropping of Christian Cullen. Did you ever cop stick for your old man
No,
dropping Christian Cullen?
I'm happy to say this. I remember when Dad dropped Christian Cullen. I didn't speak to Dad for a week. I was so dark. He was my favourite player.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dad knows
I think
this.
he was everyone's favourite player of our era, right?
He knows that. Yeah. So it was a funny thing in our home that literally I was so angry at him.
Were you?
I would have been 11. 10, somewhere 12,
Yeah,
I don't know, somewhere around there, and I was
that's
I was
so funny.
fuming. So I'm with the rest of New Zealand, but I mean, he did try and explain why he did it, and I can kind of see why, but still.
What was that?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I'm not going to throw him under the bus now.
Okay. What position would you play if you played rugby now?
That's a good question because with Canterbury we play touch at training for
yeah.
fun every now and then.
Yeah.
And as much as I'd love to be running the cutter, and I'm way too slow for that, so I'm more about being the grub. I just try and get in there and get a bit physical every now and then, and try and slow the play up.
Blindside?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Just
I can imagine you
do all the
being
dirty stuff. Yeah.
Like it. Okay. Dream Black Clash teammate. You're going to be that's one thing you'll be doing every year, I'd imagine.
No, I might be on the rugby team. Dream Black Clash teammate. Rugby or cricket?
Either, I guess. I'd imagine rugby, but cricket as well. You can go one of each.
Yeah. Dan Carter growing up was obviously he's the
hero. Yeah.
He's the GOAT, wasn't he,
Yeah.
as a kid? But, no, I think cricket-wise it'd be cool, like a Freddie Flintoff or something.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way he used to go about playing his
yeah.
cricket. So him or Ricky Ponting were probably my two favourites growing up.
Yeah, cool. So, Carter would have been in with your old man?
Yes, I think, that was his first year. So
Yeah, that's right.
I remember.
2003.
Yeah, so I was catching the balls behind the post a few times, but I had a lot more hair back then as well. So.
Oh, good stuff. Okay. Ask him if he can stop bringing bottles of Patron to our court sessions.
Yeah, so there's the thing is, when to move down here, we obviously won a couple of trophies in the first few years, so I just kept bringing Patron to the boys.
Is this post IPL when you?
No, this is when I had nothing. So
Patron's
I was on the
expensive
domestic
stuff,
contract
isn't
then, so you got to celebrate your success, don't you? Isn't that's why we play the game?
Yeah. What are the cricket court sessions like? Are they?
They're not probably as loose as rugby.
Yeah.
But boys still know how to enjoy themselves when they need to. Yeah, especially test wins are always good fun.
And what about on tour? Like, where does sort of drinking come into?
Yeah, it's probably similar to what you've seen as the game's evolved and become more professional. There's definitely less and less, but at the same time we're still human, and you want to enjoy yourselves at times. But for us, it's more around when you finish a test match, you sit in the change rooms and you enjoy each other's company because you know how hard you've worked for the last 5 days or the series or whatever that might be. But it's definitely probably not as big as what it used to be, that's for sure.
Would you have a beer in the change room between test days?
Yeah, if someone's achieved a milestone that's pretty special to the group or something like that, you have a beer as a team for that person.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. I mean, again, it's each to their own. You can do what you do. Like for me, I know it affects my recovery. I'm not a good hungover, so I don't really touch it unless I know I've got a good break up coming up.
Where I could imagine Jesse Ryder springs to mind around someone who probably enjoyed
some of those boys enjoyed their festivities a bit more, that's for sure, yeah.
Okay, ask him about his passion for his lawn.
Yeah, love my lawn. I've actually got a robot at the moment that does it while I'm away. But
you control that from the
I just
hotel
sit there on
room.
my phone and so make sure it's out there, and if it's
staring
not,
at,
just text Amy and be like, "Why is it not moving again?" But no, I guess we spend a lot of time on some pretty nice outfields. So I love when I get home, get on the ride on and put the headphones on and just cruise around. It's my peace and quiet.
Is that common? Like, is it a common obsession for a lot of cricketers? Do you talk a lot of lawn with?
I mean, you do end up talking about wickets a lot and trying to work out what the hell's going on with a wicket, even though we're all guessing at the end of the day what it's actually going to do. But a lot of the boys love their golf. That's a big thing. I'm not a massive golfer, so for me, I try and annoy them with my lawn chat. So they all just seem to disappear when I start talking about a different type of seed or something. But yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. And you mentioned the wicket there, like going out and seeing the pitch. Like when you go out there and you see one, is there a time where you're like, oh, jeez, I'm not looking forward to betting on that? Or
the T20 World Cup just gone? Look, the conditions are so different all around the world, and that's probably what people at times don't realise is how different one city to another can be in a country, let alone different countries. So that's the challenge for us coming from New Zealand, is we're so used to green, fast, bouncy wickets. Is it's constantly adapting to these slower surfaces at times, and we're lucky that we've all spent a lot of time playing in these conditions now. But you still, when you show up and you're trying to go, right, what's this going to do? How am I going to adapt to this? That's the challenge of international cricket, is can you adapt quicker than the opposition at times?
And when would you know? Would you know from watching up in the top, watching the opening batters go, or would you be basically not too?
Sometimes you can, when you show up in the morning, you can this is going to be tough, or whatever. And then other times you're watching, trying to work out, right, it's harder for the opening batters with a new ball doing something, or do I need to come in and put pressure on because it's going to be harder down the, you're constantly, I guess, adapting, and that's something we talk about the Black Caps, is we've got to communicate with each other really well. So you get out, you're pissed off, but then you come up and you might talk and say, look, this is what I found. You're constantly trying to work with each other to make the next guy's life a lot easier.
Such a cool insight. Okay, we've got this one, lots and lots of different bowlers, but may as well summarise it with most difficult bowler you have faced.
It's a hard question because there's so many good bowlers. Who
do you struggle with the most? Or you can't really say it, can you? Because then he's in your head.
I'll tell you, New Zealand, Mitch Satner is a good bowler.
Is he?
He's Look, there's a number of guys like Bumrah's world class, especially with white ball. The way he can execute his Yorkers at the end, there's not many guys that get hold of him. Jimmy Anderson, who retired last night or 2 nights ago, when he's got a juke in his hand, swing it around corners, it's pretty challenging. And
he was one of the names that someone.
There's every country's got world class guys. Australia, Pat Cummins, Hazelwood. They're all. That's why they're all the best in the world. And for me, it's cool to take those guys on. Do you know what I mean? That's why you play international cricket, is to be able to play against the best in the world, and they're going to get on top of you at times, and hopefully you get times where you get on top of them as well. But that's the cool thing, is when we're 70 and old and sitting there with mates, you can talk about the times that you face those guys.
Oh, so cool. The beauty of sport. Do you know the stats of who's got you out the most or things like that? No,
I don't really.
You would never look into
that. I don't want to plant that seed in my head. I'm sure someone's sitting there who knows it all. But
I've got this guy 5 times. Why is he not named for me?
I don't need to know that. It's not worth it.
Okay, best cricketer you've played with?
Oh, look, I played a lot with Kane, and he's, in terms of his ability, like I said earlier, to be present and to be able to just do what's required is something pretty special. And he'll go down as our greatest ever cricketer in New Zealand. Overseas, obviously, the likes of MS Dhoni and England, Joss Buttler. Been lucky now to play with a number of world-class players. But, for me, Kane, just the way he goes about his business, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, mate. So he's such a machine. Eh?
He loves scoring runs.
And I guess you mentioned around like the different guys you've played with overseas now, like because of the IPL and because of all these other tournaments that go on, real chance for you to get to play with all these players from different countries, and it must be like quite a tight sort of community, the cricket world. Yeah,
I think for me it's cool to learn how different countries, different players go about their business, and I guess you pull little things about how they prepare or what they do on the field to try and add it to your game. And you also realise that they're just normal blokes that are representing their country as well. And it's probably taken away, I guess, the sledging side of international cricket, because you do play with each other so much. But it's also because you spend so much time with each other, sometimes it's quite good fun when you get them out or they get you out as well. Yeah.
Get stuck into them, okay. Any weird superstitions? I guess a lot of cricketers have superstitions,
Nah. I mean, I'll normally take my bat home the night before.
Sleep with it?
Nah, I'd sit there and you'll hear me tapping or like shadow batting in my room, or like just things like I've just always sort of done that. So if I don't take it, it's not the end of the world. Like I'm not like panic stations.
Game over.
I'm not going to score any runs that day, but that's probably. And then if I get out for a lower score, I'll change my grip. So I'll just take the grip off and I'll just put a new one on. It's my way of sort of like
flushing it,
resetting and start again.
That's cool.
If I have a real bad day, I'll pack my bag and then start again the next day. But hopefully that doesn't happen too often. Yeah.
Have you seen any other weird superstitions? What's the weirdest?
I mean, there's a couple which I probably can't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to throw them under the bus, but yeah, look, cricket. There's some interesting things that go on in that change room at times. Yeah, like I think for me, it's just really cool watching different guys under pressure react differently. Like Trent Bolt won't mind me saying this, when he's next into bat, I've never heard someone talk so much. Obviously he's a little bit nervous, and so it's hilarious. Like, we'll sit there and we'll just listen. It's so funny. Some of the stuff he comes up with is awesome. Where like someone like a Kane's in his own little world.
Most people would go
he's
quiet.
in his own bubble, ready to go. So everyone's got their own little things that they do to prepare for games, and it's quite cool watching them.
It is cool. Okay, 2 more. Keys to keeping your concentration for a long period of time.
I think it's not concentrating for too long. So it's understanding that the ball's 3 seconds max.
Yeah,
so it's how can you concentrate but then walk away, and when I walk, I'll sing songs if I'm down at the non-striker's end. I'll usually try and find my daughters in the crowd and I'll wave to them or something. Just ways to take yourself away from the contest and the just ways to relax yourself, so that when you are on again for that next ball, you've got your whole energy into that ball, and not, because if you're doing it for the whole over, that's 5 minutes where you concentrate on that. I can't concentrate that long.
What is it 8 seconds the normal?
Probably, something. So it's like,
might be a Quinny special.
It's like, get them onto that. But it's just how can you concentrate for that split second and find ways to re-energise. And I know some boys count the light bulbs up in the light towers. I can't see that far, but big thing for me is if my girls are in the crowd, I'll sit there and just watch them chug, because they're so little, they're charging up and down the banks, and I'll just sit there and watch them, and that's my way of relaxing, and then so that when you face sports, game on.
Be the same on the field too, eh?
Yep, especially I'm a slip fielder, so it's very similar. It's how can you switch off and usually listen to the slip boys talk some shit for in between balls and tell some stories.
You must get through some songs.
Batting I do, and then some stories in the slips, which I don't know where we get to sometimes, but it's long days sometimes.
Oh, it's good stuff. Okay, last question. Best piece of advice you have for a Woodlad listener?
I think probably just enjoy the little things in life. Don't try too hard. That was my one lesson. Is early on in my career, I tried way too hard. I wanted to do things, and I probably pissed off a few people along the way. And it wasn't until I realised that it's just a game. Be at peace. Do what you can control, and do that, and work bloody hard to do that. But the rest of it just takes care of itself, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the little things, I think, is the best piece of advice. Mate,
I love it. And you've lived that. It's potentially the best piece of advice we've ever had on here. Like, that's world class. And because you've done it, your story is so incredible, how you've ground your way through domestic cricket. You've cracked the international stage and just gone absolutely berserk, and now one of the greatest New Zealanders ever, mate.
Wouldn't say that, but no, thank you.
But it's been a real pleasure having you on the podcast. Looking forward to following your journey from here on in, and looking forward to seeing what's next and what's around the corner. But absolute honour having you on. What a lad.
Cheers, Ray. Thanks.
You're a lad.